All right. So when you do engage a grant professional, there's some things that you can do to maximize your success. And this is really important. But you want to assign a single internal point of contact. I require that for all of my clients, and it's good to have a single person that you go through because there was an instance once when I worked with um, an organization, and there was a very excited volunteer, and she used to send me a lot of different suggestions and sometimes grant opportunities or which usually we already knew about, but she was very excited and knew me from another part of my life, at school and with the kids, and so she had a lot of access to me, and so she thought this was very exciting, but it did cause some confusion a little bit. And not really necessarily with me, but with their own team, because I would never act on anything unless my point of contact said go. I think that's really important to have that person as your kind of authority for the organization. They're going to speak for the organization to you. So that's a good uh, point there to maximize success. Establish regular check-ins. Again, I don't demand, but I highly suggest to my um, clients that we have regular check-ins. Some meet with me once a week, and some meet with me one every other week and or twice a month, things like that. It just depends on how heavy their grant calendar is. Sometimes we don't need to meet that often, but it's really important to have those regular check-ins because you want to be on your grant professional's radar. So the more that they are talking with you and keeping up with what's going on in your organization, the better everything's going to be for them, for you. And I think that's a really important piece of the puzzle there. Uh, Provide timely data, budgets, and approvals. This is this is definitely that being in touch when we're in the middle of a proposal, it's really important to be on it. And, I try not to leave it too close to the due date, before when I ask someone for something. Um, as general practice, I try to scan the application when I first open it, like, and that's usually a month out from the due date, and make sure I understand what is it that I need from the organization that I don't already had. Is this a particular program budget that they've just developed? Oh, I don't have that yet. They're going to have to, or maybe we need to develop it together. You know, Things that I need, I will tell them ahead of time. That doesn't always happen. I mean, best practice, that should happen. But yeah, I usually don't leave it very neat because it's important to respect everybody's time, because everybody just can't drop things to get the grant in. But it's important to be in touch with your grant professional about like approvals for moving forward with a project, or proposal or submitting a proposal. It's really important to have good communication. And you want to be able to track, there has to be a system that's tracking the submissions and the outcomes and reporting requirements. So you really need to discuss who's doing that. Is the organization doing that? Is the grant professional doing that? A lot of grant professionals won't do that for you necessarily, or they'll have you be a part of their system that they keep, which is a great idea too. But you want to be up on those. Like submission dates, what you've promised and the reporting requirements for that, because that you're going to be able to help your team execute those proposals well if you understand all that. Yeah, grant professionals are most effective when treated as strategic partners, not crisis intervention. Amen to that. That is so true. You grant professionals do a lot of times get asked when crises have kind of like organizations are struggling for funding, or it's really not a great time to just start writing grants. Like you, there again, there's the things that are going to need to be in place there, and so when you can use the grant professional as a tool for in your fundraising battery, like of revenue, that is when things are going to work really well. Is when that grant professional is used as a strategic partner in your revenue stream.